Hey, we got to cover something, guys. It's called a payoff, right? We were talking about the Chuck Liddell case a week ago when this came down, and that's heavy stuff. But Chuck's a member of our community. Of course, it's going to circle around, but Chuck also has an incredible reputation as a calm guy. And Chuck came and talked to the media. He made a very brief statement. He asked for privacy, but he did take the time to defend himself against some of the accusations to let us know I did not do a domestic abuse. I allowed the cops to defuse the situation by removing me from it. It's a very brief statement. This is what was said. And I encouraged you guys at that time. I was very careful with my own words, right? And this whole culture of you're supposed to believe this and you're supposed... I was very careful with my own words to simply tell you, reserve judgment. Chuck has asked for a little space. Chuck told us if we give him the space, he will give us the whole story when the time is right. Seemed like a reasonable request from a reasonable guy. I know Chuck, he's a reasonable guy. That's all I said to you. I left my words there. But a little bit of time has gone by, and the police have come out to politely and appropriately let it be known he is being charged with nothing. I feel that needs to be paid off. If you get accused, could you guys imagine if you got accused of something and you had to fight, you had to go through the whole process, you knew you were innocent, you're running out of money, you got to get lawyers. Just imagine how vulnerable that would be if you were innocent. Now imagine one step further, which was you were never even accused. You were never even accused. It just got out there that you were, and the story changed. You know where I'm going with this, which is John Jones. But if we're to be fair, John has never even been accused of that domestic dispute. John said it was the worst incident of his life, and he called it a confrontation, but it's very relevant because as you're juxtaposing these three, Luis Pena being the third. Luis Pena was charged. There was a police report. I understand due process. I understand innocent till proven guilty, but Luis Pena was swiftly released. It is not apples to apples. That situation had a 911 call from the alleged victim, who was not the alleged victim 3 months prior. She was proven to be the victim. It was the same person. So there was some stuff here that was very credible and very believable, where a decision was made while that plays out. Decision came in on Chuck's very quickly, but he not only was found not guilty, guys, he was never even accused. That's relevant. Chuck deserves that to be said. Chuck deserves for that point to be made perfectly clear. This was not an exoneration. It never got off the ground. It was only words through the internet in large part. I got it from TMZ. I believe everybody that had the story had it from TMZ. So, I mean, these were literally words in a headline. And in all fairness, he does not deserve to have his name attached to that in any way. And if we want to take that same fairness over to John Jones, if you're telling the Jones story correctly, which means you're not putting emotion in, you're not putting your opinion in. You can't even take what you have that circumstantially could drive you to the conclusion, but you can't do that because you have to start with the even accused. I have to remind you, the answer is no. John was not accused. Nobody said that. There was people who were not there, admittedly, who were not overly familiar with the situation, who did share an opinion, and they weren't overly aggressive. They said, it looks like. We got a guy who went to the room. Now he's fled. We need to find him. She'd like him to not come back. I think that I see, and then fill in the blank. He wasn't actually charged. I'm only bringing this to you so that you can see the differences. Because I've heard these three being discussed, and all of a sudden all of MMA was brought into it. Oh my God, the abuse in MMA. What, these guys are running wild. What are they? Time out, slow down. Three very different cases. Possibly three very different outcomes. But charges versus accusations versus no charge whatsoever, in all fairness, does deserve to be told correctly. I want to put the focus only on Chuck here. Set Pena and Jones aside. On Chuck, who I know to be a great guy, who I know you guys admire, who you appreciate. One of the founders, one of the Mount Rushmores, Hall of Famer. It is important. His name matters, and he earned that name. And nothing has been said. Know that.